Hello, hello. This is Azrin here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to today's Learn Gujarati with me podcast episode and, of course, YouTube video. Today, we're going to do some Gujarati practice, obviously, in the form of reading and listening. I'm going to show you a worksheet as well in case you want to use it. It's a pretty basic worksheet. And we're also going to talk about how to learn more words in Gujarati. So many people struggle to learn any language, Gujarati or any language really, because they feel like they're lacking vocabulary, and of course they can't put the words together into proper sentences and articulate their thoughts. So it's almost like a two-part problem. Now, to learn vocabulary in Gujarati, there are some ways to do it that are slow and not recommended. And there are other ways to do it which are faster and more recommended. So the slower and less recommended ways to learn vocabulary tend to be very structured. They're very structured. Flashcards, vocabulary videos on YouTube, memorizing word lists, rewriting words over and over. These are different types of structured ways to learn vocabulary, which tend to be less effective. More effective ways to learn vocabulary are actually not very structured. They're unstructured. And there's really only two, maybe three big ways to do it. Authentic listening practice, authentic reading practice, and to some degree, conversation can also help as well. Reading and listening are bigger. They help a lot more, but speaking can also help a little bit too. Now, I say this all the time, and yet people more often than not, they don't listen. More often than not, people seek out vocabulary videos, very structured ways to learn vocabulary. That's usually how people try to learn. And I understand why. It feels good. It feels logical. It feels like that's how you should learn vocabulary. It's just not. You see, learning a language is very different from learning a lot of other intellectual skills. If you're going to try and memorize history facts, for example, you probably could go and memorize it, study it, find videos, make flashcards, rewrite your notes, do worksheets. These would be ways to learn more vocabulary and memorize it. But languages are not history. That's not how languages work. Languages are performative. We have to not just remember the information in an intellectual way, we have to be able to find the right words in the middle of a conversation. We have to be able to understand what people say to us automatically. And flashcards, word lists, vocabulary videos on YouTube, these kinds of things, although they are popular when learning a language, you will find lots of videos like that. Although they're popular, as a general rule of thumb, they do tend to be less effective. There are a couple of exceptions there, which we could get into, but we're not going to get into a lot of those tiny, minute details today. Generally speaking, those ways to learn vocabulary, anything that's really structured, tends to be less effective, tends to be. More effective ways to learn vocabulary are just, it's more, you're relying on, well, to keep it simple, it's just by doing a lot of reading and listening. It won't feel like you're studying vocabulary. It won't feel that way, but you will be increasing your vocabulary a heck of a lot faster than if you are studying vocabulary. Just reading and listening increases your vocabulary faster than studying vocabulary does. I'll say that one more time, nice and slow. Just reading and listening to Gujarati will increase your vocabulary faster than studying vocabulary would. In fact, if you are curious about this, I wrote a case study comparing my progress in two different languages. It was Mandarin and Ukrainian, and two languages I speak to different degrees of fluency. I compared my first 160 hours of learning Mandarin with my first 160 hours of learning Ukrainian. And one of the things that I looked at was my vocabulary size. I measured it in both. Okay. And I learned vocabulary, I think it's 3 times faster. I think it was 2 or 3 times faster in Ukrainian compared to Mandarin. 2 or 3 times faster. And the way I did it was that in Ukrainian, I didn't actually study vocabulary. It wasn't a study-based approach. It was just doing a lot of listening, doing a lot of reading, and that worked significantly better. And that is the case in general for people too. It's not just my experience. That seems to be, from what I can tell, just a true statement. So that's something really, really worth mentioning. I will still make vocabulary videos from time to time, and from time to time, a little bit of flashcards, a little bit of vocabulary study. It's not a bad thing. You can do some of it, but that's not the primary engine that increases your vocabulary in another language. Okay, with that aside, let's actually do a little bit of listening and reading in Gujarati today. I'm going to share my screen. This is a worksheet I made for a 5-year-old. Yes, a 5-year-old who I used to teach many years ago now, but I still have the worksheet, and I thought, hey, let's actually use it today. So if you are someone who is learning to read Gujarati, what I'll do is, let's scroll down here. I will leave this on the screen. Feel free to pause and read this on your own, and then I will read it to you. For those of you who aren't learning to read, this will be more of a listening practice video and not so much reading practice. Okay, here we go. Maru naam Amit che, અને wait, hang on a second. Let's do like this. There we go. That's better. મારું નામ અમિત છે અને હું બીજા ધોરણમાં ભણું છું. પણ હું ખાલી 5 વર્ષનો છું. હું ખૂબ હોશિયાર છું. હું રાજકોટમાં રહું છું અને મારી શાળાનું નામ મહાત્મા ગાંધી શાળા છે. મને વાંચવું, તરવું અને ફૂટબોલ રમવું ખૂબ જ ગમે છે. I'll read that one more time so you can listen. મારું નામ અમિત છે અને હું બીજા ધોરણમાં ભણું છું. પણ હું ખાલી 5 વર્ષનો છું. હું ખૂબ હોશિયાર છું. હું રાજકોટમાં રહું છું અને મારી શાળાનું નામ મહાત્મા ગાંધી શાળા છે. મને વાંચવું, તરવું અને ફૂટબોલ રમવું ખૂબ જ ગમે છે. All right, let's go through this together. મારું નામ અમિત છે. My name, I'll translate everything word per word, and then I'll say it in normal English as well. Maru naam Amit che. My name Amit is. Or in regular English, my name is Amit. અને હું બીજા ધોરણમાં ભણું છું. And I second, okay, this is weird in literal English. And I second grade in study am. It sounds really funny when we go word per word, actually, doesn't it? In regular English, I'm studying in the 2nd grade. So hum bija dhoranama, bija is like second. It also means like other as well. There's 2 meanings for that word, but bija dhoranama, dhoran is grade, right? Dhoranama is in grade. So bija dhoranama in grade 2. Bhanu means bhanu chu means I study. So I could say hum Gujarati bhanu chu. I am studying Gujarati. Whatever, anything you're studying. Blah, 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 blah. Bhanu chu. So he is studying what? In the 2nd grade. Bija dhoran ma. But હું ખાલી 5 વર્ષનો છું. But I'm only, હું ખાલી is like only. Khali also means empty. So 2 meanings for that word. But હું ખાલી, I'm only 5 વર્ષ. 5 વર્ષ means 5 years. So હું ખાલી 5 વર્ષનો છું. I'm only 5 years old. So when we talk about your age in Gujarati, there's a way to do that. You say hun, a number. So hun panch, for example. Varash no chu. Hun panch varash no chu, I'm 5 years old. Hun das varash no chu, I'm 10 years old. Hun tris varash no chu, I'm 30 years old, right? If you're for the feminine, so if you're a woman, for example, it's going to be ni. Hun panch varash ni chu, hun panch, so on and so forth. Okay. Hun khub hoshyar chu. I very smart am, or normal English, I am very smart. Khub means very. Some people, depending on your background with Gujarati, maybe your family speaks it. A lot of people will say bo. So hun bo hoshyar chu. Bo and khub are pretty much synonyms. Hun Rajkot ma રહું છું. So I live in Rajkot. That's a city. I think that's a pretty simple sentence. I don't think we need to break that down further. હું રાજકોટમાં રહું છું. I live in Rajkot. અને મારી શાળાનું નામ Mahatma Gandhi Shara છે. And my school's name is Mahatma Gandhi School. So Shara is a school, right? So Mari Shara is school. This nu that you see right here, nu is kind of like an apostrophe S. You know how I might say like my school's name, that S in schools, that's nu. Shara nu nam, the school's name, right, is Mahatma Gandhi Shara. There's a little bit of grammar that we could dig into for nu. We're not going to get too much into it today. But for those of you who are familiar with the different genders in Gujarati, I've made a video on genders before. But nu is for neuter, so like a neutral gender. No is for masculine gender. Ni is for feminine gender. Na is for plural or for showing respect. And this is based on the noun after. So Shara is actually feminine. But it doesn't matter that Shara is feminine. We don't care about that. What we care is the next word, nam. Nam is neutral. So we're going to say Shara nu nam. Okay, because nam is neutral. If we had something like I don't know, like let's say Amit, like I don't know, Amit is the boy's name. Amit's T, for example, right? Amit ni cha. Why? Because cha is feminine. So Amit ni, not nu, but ni cha. So his school name is Mahatma Gandhi Shara. Mane vanchvu tarvu ane football ramvu khubaj game છે. So if you want to say I like something, maybe you know this already. Mane game છે. Mane game છે. That means I like. So what does he like to do? Mane vanchvu game છે. I like to read. Mane tarvu game છે. I like to swim. Ane mane football ramvu. I like game છે. I like to play football or soccer, right? Now here we have the word khub again. Khub is very. So or like khub or very or a lot. So he likes it a lot. Now you might see this ja right here. Khubaj game છે. So if we have different levels of liking in Gujarati, I can say, for example, mane game છે, I like it. Mane khub game છે, or mane bou game છે, I like it a lot. Or if I like it super a lot, I love it, love it, love it. Mane bouaj game છે, mane khubaj game છે. We add a ja, and that makes it like an extra emphasis, extra oomph. Mane khubaj game છે, bouaj game छै. And that's that. We have a little worksheet here. I made this for kids, so if you can read the Gujarati script, you'll notice that it's written in the informal. And this was for initially, I made this for 5-year-old who I used to teach. I don't really teach many kids anymore. Sometimes I still do from time to time, but generally I teach. Well, I guess sometimes I teach kids, I suppose. But anyway, I made this for a kid many years ago. And if you can read the Gujarati script and you want this worksheet and you want to fill it out just for fun, you're more than welcome to. Just send me an email. Go to azrinthelanguagenerd.com/contact and just ask for this worksheet here. Make sure you say it's the introducing yourself worksheet, so I know which one you're asking for. And you're welcome to try and fill this out. I'll read this to you anyway, so you know what it says. Taru nam su che. What's your name? Informal. It's informal language. Tari umar ketli che. How old are you? Again, informal language. Tu kaya dhorarma bhane che. What grade are you studying in? Tu kaya sher. Yes. Tu kaya sherma rahe che. What city do you live in? Tari sharanu naam su che. What's your school's name? This down here says hu chu. So you can put a picture of yourself in that little square if you want, right? So it's like, this is me, right? And at the bottom here, tane su karvu gamme che. What do you like to do? Tara shok su che. What are your hobbies? And there's 3 different lines here. Okay, that's that. Hope you guys liked today's lesson. Have a nice day. And I'll see you next time. Outro. Bye.